It's the video that 5 of you asked for. Tough decisions are about to be made as I, Jamie Stangroom, take a socially distanced stroll down memory lane, which could end in controversy, because I'm about to rank all the Star Wars films. So to do this, I'm using a quiz that I saw Steele Saunders post on Twitter a little while back. I'll actually put a link to the quiz in the description, so if you want to play along and post your results in the comments, you can. You don't have to, but you can. Anyway, here we go. Or here I go. And the birds are going crazy with excitement for this quiz. Okay, which movie is better? The first question, Revenge of the Sith or The Phantom Menace? Pretty easy one for me, this. It's Revenge of the Sith, so I'm going to click on Revenge of the Sith. And I'll tell you why. I do think it's a better film, but also I have fond memories in terms of this film being a moment in time for me. I actually was really lucky. I think I just moved to London, and a mate from home, where I'm originally from, came to visit me, and they had Revenge of the Sith was coming out, and they had a big Star Wars day in Leicester Square in the centre of London, which is where a lot of the big cinemas are, where they have the European premieres for all the big films. And we went to watch The Empire Strikes Back, so all the different cinemas were showing different Star Wars film, and there was a draw for your seat numbers to win tickets for the premiere that night, the European, or maybe the world premiere of Revenge of the Sith. And my mate from home, who came to visit me, his seat got picked out. So he won a pair of tickets, and he had no choice but to take me because he knew nobody else in London. Woo! So yeah, I actually, I'd gone out in my normal clothes, and a few hours later, I remember we had a couple of shots of Sambuca for confidence. We were striding up the red carpet, students, looking very out of place, literally rubbing shoulders with Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, George Lucas. I have got photos somewhere where I also have short hair, which is probably the most shocking thing to come out of this anecdote. So one day I'm going to talk more about this and find the photos as well. So anyway, long way of saying Revenge of the Sith. I won't take this long to answer the rest of them. Right, which movie is better, The Force Awakens or Return of the Jedi? Return of the Jedi. Which movie is better, The Empire Strikes Back or Rogue One? Got a lot of time for both of these films. I'm going with The Empire Strikes Back though. Controversial, eh? Speaking of controversial, which movie is better, The Last Jedi or Attack of the Clones? If you're new to this channel, you might want to stop watching now because I know this offends people, but I like The Last Jedi. It did take a few viewings to get to this opinion though. I don't like Attack of the Clones very much. It's my least favourite of the prequels, that's for sure. So I'm going with The Last Jedi anyway. Which movie is better, A New Hope or Solo, A New Hope? Which movie is better? My old friend Revenge of the Sith, could tell you the story again if you want, versus The Rise of Skywalker. It's a tough decision, but just taking that moment in time again from my life, a moment which has never been repeated and probably never will be repeated, because at the time, I'm going into the story again, at the time this was meant to be the last ever Star Wars film. I do think memories you relate to Star Wars films contribute to how you regard them. The Phantom Menace, for example, isn't going to rank high on this list, but I do look back on it more fondly than its position might suggest. The excitement and the build-up to its release will never be repeated, for me at least, so I'll always look back at that film fondly. So I'm still going with Revenge of the Sith. Which movie is better, Rogue One or The Force Awakens? Rogue One. Which movie is better, Return of the Jedi or Rogue One? This is difficult. I'm thinking right now, I'm a fickle man, so I'd probably have to do this quiz on a regular basis. But I'm thinking right now, what would I prefer to sit down and watch? Probably Return of the Jedi. The Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi? The Empire Strikes Back. Which movie is better, Solo or Attack of the Clones? I don't like Attack of the Clones very much, so I'm going with Solo. I enjoyed Solo. I went in with Solo expectations. I wasn't in a hurry to see it. I think I saw it after like a month. I do think if Solo came out in a different year, it would have been a hit. It's a fun film for all the family compared to the darker Rogue One. Which movie is better, The Last Jedi or Solo? The Last Jedi. I'm sorry. Which movie is better, A New Hope or The Last Jedi? Okay, you can calm down now, anti-Last Jediers, because of course I'm going for A New Hope. Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker? This is a tough one. This is one that I would come back to on different occasions and possibly give a different answer to what I'm going to give now. I'm going with The Force Awakens. Revenge of the Sith or The Force Awakens? So I have the story, which I won't go into again, so obviously that always gives Revenge of the Sith a boost. But this is tough. I do think The Force Awakens, as a standalone film, is a better film. And it did set the sequel trilogy up in a nice way, not in a very brave way, a very original way, but it did set it up nicely, especially for new fans, I think, and that kind of reintroduction to the galaxy. But Revenge of the Sith closed off a whole trilogy, and I think did it really well. There were some moments, still some moments in it that I'd prefer weren't there. Yeah, I'm going with Revenge of the Sith. I think once again it's just pipped its opponent with that moment in time. Rogue One or Revenge of the Sith? You know what, I actually am going to go Rogue One this time. I would rather watch Rogue One than Revenge of the Sith, despite the fact nobody invited me to the premiere of Rogue One. Which movie is better, The Phantom Menace or Rogue One? Rogue One. Which movie is better, The Rise of Skywalker or Attack of the Clones? You know I'm not bothered about Attack of the Clones. I don't dislike it, I'm just not bothered about it. So I'm going with Rise of Skywalker. Solo or The Rise of Skywalker? This is a difficult one. I've seen The Rise of Skywalker more recently. I feel like Solo is fresher to me, so I've not seen it as much, and I would actually like to see it again. So I'd probably have to come back to this one. Just for now, I'm going for Solo. No. Ooh. Still here. I'm going with The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why. But I've done it now. Okay, The Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens. I think The Force Awakens, whilst not particularly bold, did a good job of setting up this trilogy. I think The Last Jedi, though, I don't have to apologise. I think it did a really good job of taking it in a direction that we weren't expecting. I like The Last Jedi. I would take out Canto Bight. I fell asleep on a plane once. I wanted a film that I'd seen before, so it didn't matter if I fell asleep. So I put The Last Jedi on, and I actually genuinely fell asleep just before the Canto Bight scenes, and woke up just after-ish, those Canto Bight scenes, and it was the best version of that film. I really enjoyed it. I'm going with The Last Jedi. Which movie is better, Revenge of the Sith or The Last Jedi? Again, Revenge of the Sith. It has that advantage, but I am going with The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi or The Phantom Menace? The Last Jedi. Rogue One or The Last Jedi? This is a difficult one, because these are probably my two favourite films out of the Disney era. Definitely my two favourite films out of the Disney era. I'm going with Rogue One. I think I would just rather sit down and watch Rogue One. Although then The Last Jedi's got Chewie in, and we all know I've been modelling my appearance on Chewbacca for a long time now. He is my favourite. I'm going with Rogue One just for now. A New Hope or Rogue One? A New Hope. Return of the Jedi or A New Hope? I'm going with A New Hope. This is the big one, probably the hardest one to answer. A New Hope versus The Empire Strikes Back. A New Hope is the classic in the sense that it is just that standalone film, that standalone Star Wars film that satisfies you. You know, there's not really any major loose ends. It wouldn't have mattered almost if there wasn't an Empire Strikes Back, can you imagine? But there was an Empire Strikes Back, and it's one of those, you know, few examples of a sequel that arguably betters its predecessor. But then I do come back to the fact that A New Hope is just nice to sit down and watch, and, you know, feel completely satisfied by a single storyline, which we don't get very often anymore. And we wouldn't have had The Empire Strikes Back if there wasn't A New Hope. Who knew that? I'm going with The Empire Strikes Back though. I'm going with it. It's darker, and I like dark. Big reveals and a deeper dive into the mythology. However, as a kid I remember getting quite bored by the Yoda scenes, but now as a grown-up I enjoy those scenes. Anyway, I've gone with The Empire Strikes Back. And I have my final list. Now, I don't know why The Phantom Menace is this high up. Why is The Phantom Menace in 6th place? Am I going to have to do this again? Has something gone wrong here? Revenge of the Sith should probably be in 6th place. The originals making up the top 3 definitely feels right. At least the top 5 I'm happy with. I guess I'll have to come back to this after all. Let me know in the comments if you played along and if you agree with your results, and post your results in the comments as well. I'm sorry for wasting your time. We've all had our time wasted, to be fair. Steele Saunders is to blame. Rubbish quiz.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Jamie Stangroom told me to do this because he's a ridiculous human being, which I've discovered in a matter of a few minutes.